Hello everyone and welcome to a bit of a Saturday special this morning, previewing some races from Randwick today. There's a couple of Group 2s, or more than a few Group 2s, and a Group 3 as well. We're going to take a look at races 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, so the quaddie legs plus race 6, because it's a Group 2 and I thought why not. So here we go. We're going to start with race number 6, and it's a bit of a different look of doing the form as well, so stay tuned for that. But we'll start off with race 6. It is the Group 2 Darley Furious Stakes for the 3-year-old fillies over the 1200 metres. And as we go to the Google slides, you'll see that the past 3 winners of this race have been North Star Lass, Jamay and Dame Giselle. So North Star Lass led here and won, and Dame Giselle was a really good horse, settled on speed and won, and Jamay flew from the back. It's key to note that in 2022 the track was a bogged heavy, and on the other 2 times it was a soft to good. So those probably give a better representation of results. And as we take a look at the next slide, this is what they've had in common. The winners, all 3 winners we just took a look at. This is what they've had in common leading up. So they all ran in the Percy Sykes last campaign, and they all ran within 2 lengths last start in the Silver Shadow. So this probably tells us that the Silver Shadow is the main lead up. We can't be too sure of that because it rates differently in different years, but it's good to know that the Silver Shadow has been the main lead up race for the past 3 years, which can tell us a lot. So which horses do these favour? The 2 horses that fit the bill are Autumn Ballet and Kimochi. We'll go to their form. So Autumn Ballet is number 2, Adam Hieronymus. Gate 3 won the Silver Shadow on this occasion. Dame Giselle won the Silver Shadow, came out and won the 2020 edition of this race. It ran in the Percy Sykes and ran okay, so that's good. But Kimochi is the one I want to take a look at more, because it's probably the one from a form perspective I'm more confident on. It absolutely flew from the back and was narrowly beaten. It ran in the Percy Sykes last campaign with J-Mac in the saddle with an extra kilo, and it finished neck and neck with Tis Invincible, who's the favourite for this race. You can tie Cristillion with Here to Here. Kimochi beat Cristilli quite comfortably on this day, the 22nd of March at Kensington. And Cristilli obviously came out and turned the tables. Could have been due to the heavy track, but we know that Kimochi is up to or better than Cristilli on a fair surface, on a firm surface. So that probably means it's almost a winner of the Percy Sykes if you tie that in. And it was really good in the Silver Shadow from the back. Jason Collett sticks gate 7. So those 2 are probably the ones in the Darley Furious based off the last couple of winners, or a few winners I should say. So that's race 6. And we probably should take a look at the market as well. Tis Invincible's the favourite, came off a Rosebud win. J-Mac rides, it's got to be considered. And then there's Autumn Ballet and Kimochi, $4 and $4.20. Cigar Flick 8, Platinum Jubilee 10. So that's that. We'll move on to race number 7 now. It is a really good race. It's the Concord. And we'll take a look at, well, the market first. Nature Strip 250, In Secret 380, Remark 5, Eduardo 550, Bella Nipotina $8, and that's the race. The other 3 don't look to have much of a winning chance at all. So we'll start with the last couple of winners, or few winners. It's been Eduardo, Nature Strip, and Gitra. All really good horses. So what have they had in common? In fact, the past 6 winners of this race have carried 60 plus kilos to victory, which is a very interesting stat. So this year, Nature Strip and Shelby 66 carry that weight. I wouldn't expect Shelby 66 to be winning, so it's really only Nature Strip that has to be considered based off that stat. Another important one is all have been Group 1 competitive in their autumn campaigns. And when I talk about competitive, I mean right there in the finish. Not it's just run in a Group 1. I mean it's like almost a winner or a winner of a Group 1. So that's what I'm talking about with Group 1 competitive in their previous autumn campaigns. Settle on Speed's another interesting one. 1,000 metre scamper usually suits horses on speed, and won a 1,000 metre Group 1, Group 2 race in the autumn, which is another interesting stat. I think Gitra won the Lightning, Nature Strip might have won the Lightning, and I think Nature Strip won the Challenge Stakes or Eduardo won the Challenge Stakes last year. So that's interesting. So we'll take a look at the chances and outlining that criteria here. So Nature Strip, the weight, the 60 plus kilos, it carries that. I'm not gonna be marking horses too much down on weight because it is better to have a lighter weight, but it just means that you're a better horse if you've got a bigger weight. Settles on speed's very important, and it's in green because Nature Strip will settle on speed. Didn't win a 1,000 meter Group 1, Group 2 race in the autumn, which can be a little bit concerning. And Group 1 competitive I've put as a red because it ran in the Lightning, it ran okay, but it's not up to Nature Strip standard. And then it went to a 1,200 meter race, and I think it was the TJ maybe, and it didn't do too well there either. So Nature Strip might be coming to the end, and we'll just have to see how that goes. But Eduardo's very close to 60. He's basically 59.5. So that could be easily a green. Settle on speed, a green. I've put this in yellow, 1,000 meter G1, G2 race win, because he was only beaten 0.01 lengths in the Challenge Stakes. So if he got the bob, that could have easily been green. So that's why I've put it in yellow. And Group 1 competitive in the autumn, only because he wasn't really close in a Group 1, but he was really close in a Group 2. In Secret, the weight, don't worry about that too much. Settle on speed, well, maybe. It'll probably be midfield or so. 1,000 meter Group 1, Group 2 race win. No, this horse has been running 1,200, 1,400 all throughout its life. So that's a red. And then Group 1 competitive autumn is a green because obviously it won the Newmarket, albeit with the the lightweight, 51.5 kilos. So we'll have to see with In Secret, but because this is its first real test up against the big boys and girls, but we'll see how it goes. Bella Nipotina, weight, again, don't worry about that too much. Settle on speed. For a 1,000 meter race, I'm not expecting Bella Nipotina to be up in the first few, but it's drawn well, and Ben Mellon takes the ride, so it could be about midfield. 1,000 meter Group 1, Group 2 race win. I've also put on yellow because it was only half a length behind Coolangatta and I Wish I Win in the Lightning. And then Group 1 competitive in the autumn I've put as a green because of that Lightning run, and also the William Reed where it finished second behind Imperatriz. And Remark. Now, there's a few reds on Remark. Weight, again, don't worry. Settle on speed. Drawn wide. It probably settles on speed. 1,000 meter Group 1, Group 2 race win. It wasn't too far away in the Challenge Stakes. And Group 1 competitive in the autumn's a red. So, out of all of that, Eduardo and Bella Nipotina probably interest me the most. I think Nature Strip's too short at the moment for me, personally. And I should say now, my full, race 6, race 7, race 8, race 9, race 10 tips will be at the end of the live stream on the final sheet. So if you want to go look at that when the live stream's over, you can, and you don't have to wait around if you don't want to. But getting back to the Concord, I think probably Eduardo will be right there on speed, and Bella Nipotina, if it can settle close enough, will be competitive as well. That's a look at the market again. Eduardo and Bella Nipotina on the 4th and 5th line of betting. All right, we'll go to race 8 now. It's the Chelmsford Stakes. And as we look at the market, the horses in single figures: Montefilia 260, Think It Over 340, Mounga 950, as well as Jewess also at 950. So we'll take a look at the Chelmsford. Hopefully you can read that, but down there it says the past 3 winners have been Knight's Order, Think It Over, and Mr. Seawolf. All very good horses, so we'll see what they have in common. So they all carried 59 kilos to victory. That's not... I'm not going to take that too seriously because it's a weight for age race and they get weighted the same based on gender. So that's just a stat, but I'm not going to be reading too much into that. I'm not going to say Montefilia can't win because it's not a boy. That's not how it works. So disregard that. All settled on speeds, very interesting. Knight's Order led. Think It Over was right there, and so was Mr. Seawolf. All fresh, first or second up. Knight's Order was first up off a Sydney Cup win. Think It Over was second up off the Winx Stakes, I'm pretty sure. And Mr. Seawolf, I think, was second up off the Missile Stakes. So that's interesting as well. All ran in Group 1s in previous autumn campaigns. So not really... I haven't put the competitive there because Mr. Seawolf was running 4 lengths behind in a Doncaster, I'm pretty sure. So I'm not putting competitive there. I'm just putting ran in Group 1s, and all under $10 SP is very interesting. So the horses that have been rated by the market have won this race in the Chelmsford Stakes past couple of years. So we'll take a look at the key chances and assess them based off that. So Think It Over almost ticks every box. It has been a winner of this race previously, but I've just put no autumn campaign here because it's first up. It was first up in the Winx Stakes off over a year. So I'm just taking into account, all right, second up off a really long spell. Will it be a little bit flat? But that's the only minor query. Mo'unga ticks every box as well, except first up run question mark in the Winx Stakes. Didn't have too much favours, but finished last, which you don't want to see. But we'll come back to that horse. Knight's Order won this race last year, but it's got a poor SP of $21, so it's not under $10. And the trials, it's finished last in both of its trials leading into this run, whereas last year I think it won a trial leading into this race, which is why it won. So that's why I've put trials in there as a question mark. And then Jewess and Montefilia are very similar. They both settle back, but they both tick every other box apart from that. So it is a very open race. Based off the prices, I think Mo'unga probably represents the most value, considering it was a good SP in the Winx Stakes, and if it can run up to its best, it's probably good enough to win. Montefilia, if you're looking for the best winning chance, then Montefilia and Think It Over probably are the two. Apart from Mo'unga, Jewess will be running on from the back, and look for any swoopers to follow them throughout the autumn campaign. So that's the Chelmsford. We'll move on now to another one of the features. It is the Tramway. Group 2, 1400. We'll take a look at the market. And the very exciting horse called Olentia is running 2.15 ahead of Pericles and Hope in Your Heart at 6.50. And then Zayrek, $14. So we'll go to the Tramway. And the past three winners have been Zaki, and Dreamforce, all very tough horses. What they've had in common, so again, this is just a bit of an interesting stat, not really one we have to take into account. All had the number 1 saddle cloth, so that probably means they're really, really good horse, as we know Zaki is, and Dreamforce was really good. All leaders / on speed. Now, there's a double up of Zaki, so there might have been horses from previous years that have won from the back, but interesting to note that all leaders, all 3 horses that have won this race the past 3 years have either led or been on speed. All favourites, Zaki was the favourite on both occasions, and Dreamforce was as well. All fresh, first or second up, and all Group 1 competitive in their autumn campaigns. So this race is misleading based off this information, because there's no Zakis or Dreamforces in this year's edition. Instead, we've got the young talent of Olentia and the returning 3-year-old, now 4-year-old of Pericles. So we can't really read into this too much, but we'll go to the main chances. Can Olentia be beaten? Yes, it can. J-Mac jumps off Pericles and off Olentia to ride Going Global. Very interesting. I'm not sure what there might have been a story behind it, but as an outsider, not knowing too much information about, New South Wales racing, that seems very strange and interesting. And as I said before, there's no Zakis or Dreamforces in this field, so we can't read too much into the information. My value picks are both Communist and Zayrek, and I'll tell you why. So Communist is a 4-year-old, so has been coming off a 3-year-old campaign, but it was only a length off Animo and Fangirl in the George Rider. Fangirl obviously won the Winx Stakes down here, where Communist settled about midfield and just battled. But this isn't a Group 1 race, this is only Group 2. And if it can get back to its favoured role up here in the Hobartville or here in the George Rider, where it's settled right there on speed, I think it can run a cheeky race. I think they have to go forward from the outside gate. Has won over 1,600, so can run out a strong 1,400. That's the first of the value picks. And also Zayrek. It's been similar profile to Zaki in that it raced in the Queensland Carnival. Zaki obviously won here, the Hollandale, but Zarek was very close, and if it can settle close enough in the run from gate 2, I reckon it's a really good chance. And we might as well hope in your heart has got good form, but has to get back from that gate. Probably look to hit the line first up. Alencia, Karen McAvoy goes on, so there's no real disadvantage, but it's drawn gate 9. It'll probably have to go back, and we'll have to do it against a better field. It's up against the big horses now. Not the real best horses, but some better horses. My consensus is that Alencia is too short, but it could just come out and bolt in and prove me wrong. Communist is down here at $23, and Zarek is here at 14s. So that's how I'm reading the tramway, and we'll take a look at the last race, because anyone who wants to do a quaddie will probably want to hear my thoughts on race 10. It's a benchmark 78 over the 1200 metres. So the winner of the past 3 winners of this race on this day has been Hell I Am, Geist, and Crystal Breeze. But we won't read too much into benchmark 78s because anyone can win those. It's only the big races where the common theme in the last 3 winners are relevant. But we'll take a look at what they've all had in common. Not too many, but all under $10 SP, so they've been really well supported by the market. All have champion jockeys in the saddle. So Willie Pike rode Hell I Am, Hugh Bowman rode Geist, and also J-Mac rode, what's its name, Crystal Breeze, and then within 2 lengths from last start. So, and that last start has been in benchmark 78, benchmark 72 company from memory, looking at their form. So we'll go to the next slide. And as I said, hard because of the class. Time to Boogie. Solid form, on speed, under $10, all tick, tick, tick. But it's been up for a while. I think it's its 6th run. I think Rachel King's riding. So I wouldn't consider her a champion jockey, but Time to Boogie will be hard to beat on speed. Gaza Blanca, champion jockey, really good last start. It's a classy horse. Draws out a bit wide, but that stage of the day, race 10, you probably want to be in that part of the track anyway. So Gaza Blanca will be hard to beat. Parade coming over from Victoria, could win, draws well, draws better than Gaza Blanca, and Nash, full stop. I'd consider Nash a champion jockey, so Parade could easily win. Salt Coats, poor draw. Karen McAvoy on is good. It's an import, and I've put here, if it gets within 1 length, it's a star, because first up, drawn poor, it'll probably have to go back. If it wins, it's an absolute star, and follow it with confidence. But I'm not expecting it to. That's why I've put it'll be a star if it wins. So that's probably my look at all the races. So as I said earlier, all my thoughts are right here. And these are the final thoughts. So race 6, the Daily Furious, Kamachi on top, Autumn Ballet 2nd. Race 7, extremely open. Nature Strip too short, my opinion. On top selection, probably Eduardo or Bella Nipotina. Them two, probably my on top selections. Race 8, another open race, but I think Mounga represents value around $10. Race 9, I think Alencia can get beat. Communist and Zarek are my 2 value selections. And race 10 with even luck, Gaza Blanca should be hard to hold out. I forgot to actually show you the market for race 10 for those who haven't seen. So Gaza Blanca's the $2.25 favourite, commanding favourite, ahead of Time to Boogie 5, Parade 5, Salt Coats 8, and then our last cash at $9. But that's it. That's all I've got. That's going to do it for this live stream. Hopefully I can steer you into a winner based off that. Hopefully the past can replicate the present, and hopefully we can get a few winners based off those selections today. Can Nature Strip run up to his best and prove why he's a spring contender? We'll see. But that's going to do it from me, from Randwick. Bye for now.